All right, welcome everyone to a very special interview of Spark the Genius with your host, Spark the Genius, aka Josh Rackless. I don't even know what name to use anymore. Today's guest is Kien Vuu. Maybe I should have asked how to pronounce your name beforehand. Kien Vuu.
Podcast 101. Know the name of your guest. Hi, I'm Dr. Kien Vuu. People know me as Dr. V, triple board certified MD and performance and longevity expert.
That's what I meant. And he is like on a celebrity panel here at PodFest. We are sitting, if you can't see this, we are sitting in the bar at the Hilton Orlando. And yesterday you were on a panel of, what was that panel? It was kind of just celebrities, or do you guys travel around like the Avengers, like a super
We
group?
are kind of like the Avengers. I mean, I work out at a celebrity gym that is led by Eric the trainer. He trains Nickelback, he trains Def Leppard, a bunch of celebrities, including the ones on stage. You'll find me on Access Hollywood and the doctors, as well as local and national TV, throughout the U.S. Also, we had a sumo champion that goes to our gym.
Dan, yeah.
Sumo Dan was in our group. We had the White House chef, Andre Rush, who is got 4 TV shows coming out this year, and also a new book, Call Me Chef Dammit. And then tons of other celebrities came with us yesterday.
So it seems like the common link is everybody's at Eric's gym, and he was like, hey, everybody want to go to PodFest with me?
That's pretty much it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And I did actually somehow start talking to him yesterday briefly, and he put his arm around me and said, hey man, I'm like, do I know you? Like, are you my best friend? And then we chatted for 10 minutes, and he's so sweet. And I literally, for a minute there, I'm like, I'm going to go work for Eric doing something. So
hey, you know what? There's a lot of people that are in the gym now that are in our community because they just reached out, and Eric is one of those guys who's just got a warm heart and is very inclusive,
Yeah.
and he'll just bring you in on stuff. You know, I mean, a couple years ago, I was pretty much a no-name, but proximity is power. So you probably heard, you're going to be the
proximity principle. There's some guy who talks about that.
Yeah, Tony Robbins says proximity is power. Probably other people have
There's
said
another.
that as
Yeah,
well.
there's another guy. Yeah.
But people will say you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with most, and that goes for your health, that goes for your success, and all those things. Because the results that you want in your life, whether it be in your relationship, your health, longevity, money, they are all lagging indicators of the habits that you have.
Yeah.
Habits of the way you think, habits of the way you feel, habits of the way you act over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so when you hang out with different people, you start to pick up that energy, you start to pick up those habits as well.
100%. Like I feel like, when I'm with people that, I don't know, they're not doing things or whatever, they can bring me down. But that's why I wanted to come to this PodFest again, because I just feel like everybody's doing stuff. They're positive, they're creative, and I just feel uplifted again. And I'm like, that's why I'm afraid to leave. Today's the last day, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to my regular life. So I'm hoping to be able to still connect with people like this.
So I'll ask you the question. So Dr. Vuu, what do you do when you come out from a conference, you get all lit up? Well, the key things are this. Hopefully you'll have a couple of things that you want to implement on.
Yep.
So never leave. When you go to these things and you're inspired in life, it's so important to take action when you're inspired, because other times, you might be in a lower vibrational state because you're not doing the thing you love.
Yeah.
But when you get inspired, that's you, wanting to reach out to do something. So it's so really important to take action there. So write down those things, and hopefully you'll do those actions. And if you're going to a conference like this and you're meeting tons of people, and those are the type of people that are lighting you up, that's your community.
Yeah.
Try to maintain that community virtually as well.
Yes, because I noticed even before this, like people are always talking online, so they were all meeting up here going, hey, it's you. That's not just meeting randomly in the elevator, it's they've been connecting all year. And so that's why I'm like, I need to connect with these people all year and check in every day and be like, hey, are you working your show too? Because we can't all move into a big house together, but we can keep in touch online. So I'm hoping to do that. And just like that, my friend who just was here a second ago, I'm like, she's just got such a positive energy, and I'm like, maybe I can.
Where do you live again?
And I'm in Ottawa, Canada at the moment.
Oh, okay.
But I sold my condo in Toronto in 2019, thinking I'm going to be a digital nomad. I'm going to just be able to go to hotels or anywhere and interview people anywhere. And then didn't really go anywhere. At PodFest in March 2020 was the first place I went to, and I was like, I'll stay in Florida. But then pandemic was happening, and our prime minister was like, the border's closing, it's time to come home. I'm like, I don't want to come home, but I went home, and I've been sitting in Ottawa where my family is for 2 years, and it's to I feel like I've lost 2 years. Like I've done what I can. I don't know.
Well, so we were just talking about mindsets. We were just talking about limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. the truth is what you believe,
Yeah.
right? So the statement, what was that statement you said?
I just lost 2
I
years.
just lost 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, when you say you just lost 2 years, how does that make you feel?
Awful. I can't change it, and I just keep beating myself up, going, why didn't I don't know what I would have done different. Like, why didn't I do a master's for the past 2 years?
And did you happen to and do you recognize is I've lost 2 years? Is that a perspective, or is that actual fact?
I mean, it's probably a perspective. I can say, you know what, I did take stand-up comedy classes online. I did it in person. I got better at my comedy. I don't know. I lost 20 pounds on keto since December, so I'm getting healthier.
All right. So I want people to recognize this. There are facts and then there's stories.
Yeah.
Okay. Facts are just what happened.
Yeah.
I just picked up a book. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Picked up the most awesome book in the world.
Also a
Story,
fact.
but also a fact.
Well, okay.
Okay. So facts are facts. Stories actually dictate how we feel, right? And we make up those stories.
Yeah.
And if we have a story that 2 years have been wasted, we're going to feel terrible.
Yeah.
And why is feelings important? Because when you read about emotions in this book, constant emotions of anxiety, worry, fear, resentment, anger, those raise the stress hormones in our body. It will raise inflammation. It will lower your immune system. And that condition puts you prone to getting chronic disease, chronic symptoms down the road.
No, like literally that's what I'm going through right now. Like I've been so kind of upset about life lately that I started getting these really bad stomach aches and my back was hurting, and like 2 weeks ago I had to lie down on the sidewalk for an hour. I couldn't get up, and I'm like, I know this is in my head. It's very similar to when like 15 years ago I broke up with a girlfriend and I eventually got her back, but I broke up. It's my fault. I kept breaking up with her, and she got engaged to somebody else. And I started having these really bad stomach pains, and I was in the emergency. I got colonoscopy and endoscopy. The doctor's like, "There's nothing wrong with you. Just relax or whatever." So I know it's my brain literally making myself sick.
Now, that is definitely basically the mind, emotion, body connection there. They're all linked, and you'll find out more when you go to ThriveStateBook.com and get this book.
I'm going to put a link to my. Is this on Amazon?
It is
I'm
on
an
Amazon as well.
influencer. I'm going to put this video on Amazon. So click on the link below.
Well, so it's really important that you know that that's a story. And anytime you start to feel like things are off, ask yourself, what story am I telling about myself? Because you can choose to believe that story.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. You're not hurting anyone else except for yourself when you're feeling like, oh my God, I wasted 2 years.
Yeah.
However, what I heard him just say was maybe there was 2 years of introspection.
Yeah.
There was 2 years where weight loss was in there. 2 years where there was additional skills that were gained.
Yeah.
You can change the story at any time. And in fact, you actually change history when you can change the story. When you can look at an event and shift it and change it to something more empowering, you'll start to feel a little bit different about it.
Yeah.
And I want to tell everybody right here, I talk about embracing our shit.
Yeah.
Shit standing for struggle and hurt, inspiring transformation. That's shit. All right? And so within your 2 years, you might have had a little bit of struggle, you might have had a little bit of hurt there, but I'll tell you that during those times, people grow the most.
Yeah.
All right? Now, I go to the gym. I've got some muscles. They're not the hugest muscles, but the muscles wouldn't grow if I didn't lift any weight. The more weight I put on, the larger the muscle would be. That very much goes for the things that we are gifted in life, those challenges, those obstacles, those low points, because they force us to grow. In the shit, there is struggle and hurt, and Ram Dass has a phrase that struggle is really the sandpaper for our awakening. Because at the end of struggle, you will be wiser, you will be stronger, you will be more resilient, and hopefully this 2 years of pain, maybe it forced you to think a different way. Maybe it forced you to go, oh my God, you know what? I have a lot of limiting beliefs and stories that are disempowering. Maybe I should be more aware of that so they come with better stories. So at the end of that struggle, you are wiser, stronger, more resilient. Then it becomes your gift.
Yeah.
And then now you have more to give. And honestly, you are a stronger person because of it.
Yep.
I'm going through some shit right now. Like I'm going through some shit right now that is the worst crap that I can't wait to talk about on stage. But this is what you can do when you're in struggle as well. You can always ask yourself, what is the gift?
Yeah.
Because there will be a gift at the end. You will learn from it.
Yeah.
And the stuff that I'm going through right now, I won't share, but I can't wait to talk about it on stage, to talk about how I'm overcoming this part of the struggle. And in my mind, as I'm going through my struggle right now, I can have the perspective that this really is a gift. And so, you can see I'm still pretty smiling.
Yeah, I'm like, you're so excited about the shit you're going through.
Exactly.
I'm like, I wish I could. I'm not even excited about good things.
Exactly. So that's what you could do when you can control your story, because your story will change your biology. Or what I like to tell people is your biography will then determine your biology. Right?
Yeah.
So what you tell about yourself, when you can tell a more empowering story, you're like, oh my God, you know what? This gift is going to make me stronger. So I'm just going through this now. It's hard.
Yeah.
But it's going to make me stronger. And because of that, I'm like, okay, that's going to lead to the next thing. Or some people might say, if it takes, I don't know, 100 failures to get to a yes, and your goal was to get to the yes, would you want to fail?
Yeah, every failure would be closer to the yes.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to fail fast.
Yeah. It's
right?
like, let's screw this up over and over. Let's get
exactly.
to this.
So if you change that perspective, knowing that the failure is really meant for us to learn, and it's a part of the process, and to enjoy it as much as those successes.
All right, that's a good idea. Yeah, and I was going to say, like, Ty Lopez, you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he said something similar like that last week on Instagram. He said, by 25, your brain's kind of hardwired, but what can change grown-ups is trauma. So you maybe need that trauma to sort of shift your mindset, I guess. I don't know. That sounded like another way of saying it. So I'm trying to do that, because I know my body kind of is defaulting to being upset, and I'm worrying all the time. Even I was saying, when I was walking to meet you, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to meet you and do this interview with you, and I'm in a beautiful hotel, and I just had a lazy river ride with this new woman I met. I'm like, this is so great. And then my mind was like, no, you're upset. Remember, you're upset about aging. You're upset about wasting the 2 years. You got to be upset. I'm like, what? Why would my body want to be upset? But I guess it's just the way. It's like you were saying. It's always looking for problems.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. By the time where we are conceived, all the way up to 7 or 8, our nervous system is collecting energy. It's developing during that time, and it's going to take in all this information. It's going to learn things from your parents, from society, from culture. It's going to learn little things like, for example, if you were to touch a boiling pot of water, it's going to feel hot and pain, and you're going to remember that. And the things the things that hurt the most, that are most emotionally jarring, you're going to remember that even more.
Yeah.
What that part of the brain is this subconscious part that's forming is really used to keep you safe. Because you want things to react, and the subconscious brain is actually more powerful and faster than your conscious brain, because it's used to keep you safe.
Yeah.
When you were made fun of, when you went to go speak, on stage as a kid, or when somebody rejected you when you were a child, you remember those things because it's important to belong. And all this gets stored in the subconscious brain, and what becomes the default mode network. So when you're not concentrated on something and your mind just kind of wanders, it's like, oh my God, I'm worried about the future, I'm anxious about the past.
Yeah.
I'm not enough. Do I really belong? All these things, that are this negative thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, 70 to 80% of those thoughts that come from that part of the brain is negative.
Yeah.
And that's just to keep us safe. Now, some people would say, let's shut that little part of the brain up.
I'd like to.
Right? And really hate that part of themselves.
Yeah.
I used to kind of do that with myself, but I started to notice that I would beat myself up a little too much.
Yeah, I'm so brutal.
So let's not do that, because it is a part of you.
Yeah.
So can we recognize that it's a part of us that is just not so mature, that's there to keep us safe. So thank you for allowing us to be safe.
Yeah.
But maybe don't let it run the car. Don't let it drive the car.
Yeah, somebody, I don't know if it was Mel Robbins or somebody recently said, if you name that thing, you can be like, I'm going to call that part of my brain Tina.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thank you, Tina, for reminding me that I've got, some mistakes with that, whatever, but you know what, we're not talking to you today, or whatever, or thanks for chipping in, but don't let that be me.
Yeah, exactly. So Tina, or whatever you want to call it,
I'm calling it Tina,
will be a part of you for the rest of your life. You're not going to get rid of Tina. You should not hate Tina, because that's a part of you.
Yeah.
I'd like to have the perspective of love that part of you, because again, that same part of you is going to just, without you even thinking, protect you from like falling off a cliff or getting yourself in danger. It's a reflective part of you, but also a primitive part of you.
Yeah.
And part of being human is being able to collect new information.
Yeah.
All right, and think about it so that you can start to change. Now, that's also the same part of you that makes change so difficult because it's so wired in.
Yeah.
But you just have to bypass it over time with like, no, okay, there Tina is again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop. Here's a little thing I teach my clients on how to make better choices, right? There's a Holocaust survivor, Viktor Frankl.
Yeah.
Man's Search for Meaning. He wrote that book. He saw tons of his friends and family members die during the Holocaust, but he still had this to say. He said, between stimulus and response, and his stimulus was death, destruction, people getting killed, right?
Yeah.
Between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space is our power to choose a response. And in our response lies our growth and freedom. Meaning, anything that comes at you, a thought, a craving, we have automatic things that make us want to react.
Yeah.
But we could always pause for a second, create a little bit of space, and choose how we really want to be.
Yeah.
And it's that conscious choice that actually makes the difference. So how do I teach people to do this? Let's take the example of a food craving. That could be a trigger. Or and let's take another example as, maybe you're fighting with your partner. All right? That could be a trigger for you to be angry, right? So you've got a craving that makes you want to eat, and then you've got a fight that's about to brew that's going to make you angry, okay? So those are triggers. What is the normal reaction between that craving? Oh my God, I want to grab that chocolate chip cookie and just down it, right? For somebody who's fat, that might not be great for you, right? Or, in the case of the spouse, something triggered you. You just want to go at your spouse or your partner.
Yeah.
That's the reaction. However, how do you cultivate that space between stimulus and response? You increase activities that increase your parasympathetic system. So you can gaze out into nature. That will calm things down. You can go for a walk in nature. That will slow things down. Or one of the things I love to do most is breathe. 10 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, like as if you're blowing through a straw. When you do that, you relax your body. And in that time as you do that, you'll notice that whatever it is, that craving is going to decrease a little bit. Or that charge, when you're about to get into a fight, that wanes a little bit. And so now you've created a space.
Yeah.
And now I use the acronym ACT. This is all in my book, which means awareness, choice, and take action. First, awareness. Oh my God. I got that craving again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that thing. Or, some emotions are coming up and I really want to like yell back at this person right now.
Yeah.
Just have the awareness. Okay.
Okay, that's what's happening.
C is choice. Do I really want to eat that cookie? Is it going to serve me right now? I mean, do I want, is it worth it? Is this cookie even that good? Do I want these calories in me?
Yeah.
Or do I want to fling poison in the person that I love the most? Yes or no? No. I want to be a healthy person. I want to show up with love and gratitude and compassion for what's happening right now. Okay, have the choice. That's the power right there. You choose how you want to be. Finally, take action. What would you then do now if your choice was be healthy? No, you know what? It's not that good. I'm not going to eat that cookie. I'm going to drink some sparkling water instead. And I love doing that. There you go.
That's what I did.
Or oh my God, sorry I yelled at you, honey. I overreacted. That reminded me of when I was yelled at when I was a kid, and I reacted. Sorry, can I just take a few minutes here and we'll come back together? I really want to show up with love. So you take a new action.
Yeah.
So that way you've short-circuited this automatic response.
Yeah.
And you could do the very same thing when those limiting beliefs come up, is do that same thing.
Yeah.
Create space by doing all those things that I do to create space. Either meditate, go for a walk, do some 10 deep breaths that's really, really quick, and then act.
And that's what I've been kind of going through. Like my issue now lately is that the second I wake up, I just feel this intense depression. I'm like, oh my God, I'm turning 50. I never had kids. I never became famous. Like, it just and spiraling. I feel sick to my stomach. I can't. So what I've been doing for the years, like, no, the first thing I do before I get on my phone or whatever, I get up and I go for a jog. So I go for a 5-kilometer jog. At least I'm outside, and by the end of it, maybe I'm listening to an inspiring podcast, and I feel a bit better. At least I know, and I'm helping my health. So it helps a bit. And I also try to breathe. Mel Robbins says, touch your heart. And it actually, say it's okay, tell yourself it's okay. I mean, all this stuff seems ridiculous, and then I try to picture people who are still my age or something doing, Gary Vee, he's out there having fun. Tony Robbins is doing amazing things. He's not going, oh, poor, like life is over. Bill Maher never had kids, but he's still a successful comedian. Like, there's people, I go through my list, and you'll be on my list now. I'm like, Ken, is doing Kien is doing some fun stuff, and he's going through crap, but he's excited about helping people. So that's my little routine. I don't know if it's legit, but that's sort of what I've pasted together.
You know what? Keep what works for you, and it's all about routines. And I have one suggestion that's going to be very useful.
Yeah.
I do this with my high performance clients a lot, but breath work is really, really powerful. And for some people, psychedelics, I used to do ketamine ceremonies and things like that. That actually quiets down this default mode system. Yeah. And when you quiet down these old repetitive patterns, sometimes you have access to your higher self and what's true. And these transformational breathwork journeys, there's usually about an hour long of breathing a certain way.
Wow.
You can quiet that down, your whole body kind of tingles, but you shut it down for a moment, and it will give you revelations as to who you could be. I highly recommend you try it. Now, I have got a good friend who I'll be learning from. His name is Curtis Lee Thomas. His Instagram handle is @manwiththestars. Every 2 weeks, he does this breathwork challenge for $30 that you can just jump in. He'll teach you how to breathe, and he'll guide you through a transformational journey. Now, there's probably other practitioners that are out there, but it is transformational. And I bet you, if you were to do that every single day, that part of your brain will quiet down a little bit, and you'll have access to some new thoughts.
That'd be good, because I feel good right now. I'm meeting you, I'm talking to you, it's like, hey, this is all great. And if I can stay in more of a state like this, I could be like, okay, now I'm ready to edit a podcast and upload it and go out for dinner, do fun things rather than just spiraling. And you can't stay at a conference all the time, to be distracted. You need to be able to, in regular life, sort of get rid of that mindset. So these are some great tips. Thank you.
So let's plug you on. You mentioned state. State is so important.
Yeah.
Because how you feel is how you feel will inspire that action. If you're feeling crummy and you need to edit or whatever, that editing is not going to be inspired.
No, I've got eight episodes that I haven't uploaded since February, because I'm just I don't want to sit there alone. I'm depressed.
Okay, so you need to change your state.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another concept from this book. I tell you that there's 7 major things that affect our cells and our DNA, and they're all energetically related. And if you understand this concept, you could really be your own healer and probably not have to see a doctor. But sleep, nutrition, movement.
Yes.
Emotions, your mental state, relationships, and a sense of purpose. Now, I don't have time to go through all of them.
Yeah, that's a whole.
However, just want you to know that if you want to change your emotional states, you could do the following. You can either sleep better, eat better, or exercise. That'll change your state. Even moving, even standing in a power pose right now. You stand in a power pose, you just throw your hands up, power pose. You're actually going to increase testosterone, which will increase your motivation, and it'll decrease the stress hormones in your body. So just by moving your body, moving your physiology, you're going to move that. So those are those 3 things. Your thoughts. You're not going to change those 70 to 80%. Those negative thoughts are going to come. What you need to do is practicing on focusing your thoughts.
Yeah.
It's the 80% bullshit that's coming in right now. I'm not going to believe it. I'm going to believe, hey, I just had an awesome weekend. I met some awesome people. I met some people who are at the top of their game. They gave me their time. They're generous.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
and you say, I'm worth it. I'm somebody that provides value, that these people want to talk out and reach out to me.
Yeah. I feel great.
Focus on those things.
Yeah.
And you can change the focus of your thoughts, make new meaning. You're going to start to feel different. And then lastly is really living that sense of purpose. And again, that could be a whole podcast on its own. But the purpose is really just remembering who you really are. Because as a kid, I have a 16-month-old daughter right now.
Wow.
She's just there. She's playing. She knows what's up. we're just naturally happy. But we learn along the way all these things
Yeah.
that have hurt us in the past or tell us, oh no, you shouldn't do that. You know, you'll never make money doing that. You start to forget who you are, the things that bring you joy.
Yeah, yeah.
So finding your purpose is really about remembering who you are, remembering the things that bring you joy, remembering your life experiences, including the shit, which we don't have time to talk about, which means struggle and hurt, inspiring transformation.
Yeah.
Even the shit in your life is going to give you a gift.
Yeah.
And when you share your joy, when you share who you are with the world, that's your purpose.
Yeah.
And if you can focus on all those things, you can change your state.
Yeah.
And changing your state will not only, a better state will not only give you optimal health, longevity, and peak performance, it'll give you the ability to take all the actions inspired and in a way that will produce the results that you want in your life.
Even like 2 days ago, I was at the pub with this woman, Jen, from the conference, said, listen, Josh, I read your bio, because we were at a networking thing, and she's like, you've done so many amazing things in your life, writing all these commercials, and you've been on the radio and run for office. Like, nobody knows that, and you're walking around like, ooh, the frowny face, and so people aren't coming up to you. You need to smile, just smile, force the smile. And then, the next day, yesterday, she was like, I've noticed all these pictures of you interviewing people.
So just changing your posture will change your state. So practice that. So when you're walking down, just walk a little bit more wide. Don't slouch anymore.
Yeah.
All right, because this will actually change your emotional state.
Yeah.
So just changing how you stand, how you posture will be different. Now we're running short on time. So you have any final questions?
Oh, Jesus.
Where do people find you, Dr. Vuu? Well, you can find me on Instagram at Kien Vuu MD. You can pick up a few free chapters on my book Thrive State at thrivestatebook.com.
Awesome. Well, we'll be looking for those. I'll put this video on Amazon so you can buy the book. I'll put the link below on YouTube and in the podcast description. And so let's just do this for 30 minutes every single day and I'll be fine in my life.
Here we go. Hey, remember always, you are your best medicine. Just learn the tools and you'll have a new life.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being so generous and for making me feel so good. And I hope we all learned some great tips and hopefully you'll be on the show again sometime.
All right. Thanks
Thanks a lot. Bye.